My name is Kamal Jain, and I'm running for state auditor. Carla Howell was kind enough to say a few nice words about me. Thank you, Carla Howell. I'm running for auditor as an independent because we need an independent audit of not just the Federal Reserve, but of the state of Massachusetts books, of which these 300 pages are just one set of books. And I have been through multiple sets of these. Here in Massachusetts, our state budget is $27 or $28 billion. Total spending is nearly double that, at $50 billion. Again, in the audited books. And I've had state senators and state representatives and other politicians claim to me, that is not the budget. That's total state spending. That's different. It doesn't count. I'm here to tell you, and you're all here to tell us, that's not true. That doesn't count. Hey, Federal Reserve, hey, federal government, total spending counts. We want to know what you've done with our money. I'd like to start by going through a few parallels, disturbing parallels between Massachusetts and our federal government. Over the last 2 decades, at least, we have seen that every year spending goes up, total spending goes up, regardless of what they tell us about the budget. Sometimes there's been a small reduction in spending, and guess when that happens? That happens in years when people need help the most. When the economy is doing the best, our government is spending the most. Long-term spending, long-term growth are all up dramatically. In Massachusetts, we have doubled our total spending and our total long-term debt in the last 10 or 12 years. Doubled. That is money that we will pay and our children and grandchildren will pay. Massachusetts has the highest per capita long-term debt of any state in the union. Did you know that? Of any of the 50 states in the union, Massachusetts is #1 at something. There's some basic truths that you need to understand about government. When our government starts to spend money on something, it doesn't stop spending money on that new thing. What happens when we have a crisis? We spend more money on yet more new stuff, but we don't stop spending on old things. As a result, we have runaway spending. We have the Federal Reserve printing money because they can, and guess what happens to the value of the dollar? It goes down. Our government loves it because there's always more dollars to spend. You can thank the people over here for that. And in Massachusetts, we have politicians who think that they can just spend all the money they want because they can issue more bonds and more debt. We can't do that. If spending is going up, here's a question. Does anyone here know where the money is going? Do you know how much is going where? No. I've been through this. You can go through 164 pages before you find a number called total spending. You can go through 1,000 pages of documents like these I have, and you still can't find out where the money is going. That's why I'm running for state auditor. We have to audit the books. We have to expose every single transaction. $50 billion in Massachusetts of your money spent every year. What's true of the Federal Reserve is true in Massachusetts, and we have to stop it now. The state government has spent more than double, like I said, of budget. The federal government claims to only be spending $4 trillion. Remember, that's a 4 with 12 zeros after it before the decimal point. I can't comprehend a number that big. But when people up here talk about billions and trillions, you need to understand that. Go home and write that out or draw it with a piece of chalk on the sidewalk. Your mind will get blown. Nobody other than the top officials in Massachusetts government knows where total spending is. They don't know what off-budget spending is. They don't know where the money goes. We need to know that. Wouldn't you like to know how much the contractors got paid to put that piece of grass in? I bet you it was a lot of money. But we don't know how much it cost. I'd like to just conclude with one thing. Our future as a nation and as a state depends on us finding out where our money is going, all of it. There was a time when we knew these things, but right now, only when we have this information can we take our government back. Only then, in the words of Abraham Lincoln, can we have a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Not for the corporations, not for the banks, and not for the special interests. This will not happen until you contact Congress, and I know you're all here, you're all activists, you've done that. You've got to contact Congress, demand we audit the Fed. You've got to call the people over on Beacon Hill and demand that we audit the books and that we have an outside audit both of our national currency as well as our domestic state spending as well. Thank you very much. God bless you.